My today's guest is and host is Ashwin Devan. And a little introduction of Ashwin. Ashwin is the co-founder of Indian School of Image Management. He's also the managing partner of Indian School of Image Management, which is India's premier image management and soft skills institute that provides and focus on international standard and high quality education in India and internationally. Ashwin has a dynamic experience of over 15 years, and his pioneering growth objective in well established organization, as well as his focus on entrepreneurship, innovative approach towards business strategy, marketing, and business development, have been noteworthy in competitive markets such as India, Australia, Southeast Asia, and Middle East. He's a qualified and experienced keynote speaker and trainer in the domain of soft skills, digital marketing, and business development. Ashwin is a passionate philanthropist working on building quality education infrastructure such as schools and classrooms for children in the underprivileged areas of India. So, without further ado, I welcome Ashwin Devan, our speaker for today. Welcome, Ashwin.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone on the webinar today. I see there's lots of people, around 37 to 38 people on the webinar. Thank you for taking out time in the middle of the day to come and attend this session. And again, thank you so much for such a warm welcome. As some of the housekeeping rules were mentioned before, I would love to take up as many questions as I can. But with time restrictions, what we will do is address all the questions at the end of the session. But I would still encourage you all to please keep putting down those questions whenever you find it relevant during the presentation in the chat window, and we will try to address every single question, hopefully at the end. All right, so now that all those housekeeping rules are out of the way, so today's session is going to be all about soft skills. Okay, we've always heard this terminology. We are familiar with this terminology, or some of you might be already practicing this terminology in your careers, already existing careers. So today I'm going to try to focus my entire talk a little bit about understanding soft skills a little bit better. What does this terminology exactly mean? What does it intake? What all do we have to really understand? Or what are the different components of soft skills? We will also try to dive much more deeper into the program that ISIM provides, which is called the Advanced Soft Skills Certification Program. I will go into much depth about the entire curriculum, and that's going to be the major focus of today's session. We're going to break down all the different 11 different sections or different areas and domains of soft skills that you need to learn. And also we're going to understand every single subsection under those major 11 domain or areas that you need to learn. Finally, I will conclude with a little bit of Q&A, which I quite often get, and then I will be welcome to take questions from you all. So I like starting this session with this quote because I felt this quote was something that really made sense towards this topic. So what it says is people who wish to go into the future should have two skills to succeed: the ability to deal with people and the ability to sell. Now, if you look at what he's really talking, and Shiv Khera, a very famous author, I'm sure every single one of you are well aware of him, if not already read some of his great books. Both of the skills that he's really identifying here is the ability to deal with people and the ability to sell. Both of these abilities or both of these skills are actually soft skills. And we'll try to understand them in much more detail, that what is this ability to deal with people and this ability to sell. But in his quote, you do not see anywhere him mentioning a person's ability to know technical knowledge. The reason he's put that is because technical knowledge has become almost something which everyone can master. But soft skills has somewhat over the last 3 decades has taken a back seat. Everyone's too focused on saying, how can I, let's think about it like a person who does electronic engineering or programming, or is a person who's an app developer. They might have all the skills that are required to write the best code that's possible. But then they're missing the elements of dealing with people and ability to sell. So that's why I felt that this quote was very relevant for today's session. and wanted to start with that. So before we get into the depths of the subject or any bits of what soft skills is and what are the different modules under soft skills, let's understand soft skills. And like most of my sessions, I like starting my session by probably a definition. That's the way I always look at doing sessions. So when I looked around and tried to understand what's the most appropriate definition for soft skills, this is what I came up with. A soft skill is a personal attribute. Okay, there are a few words that are highlighted here. Soft skill is a personal attribute that supports situational awareness and enhances an individual's ability to get a job done. It's a complicated one. It's a mouthful, so we'll take it a little slower. So what it means is, firstly, soft skills is defined as a personal attribute. Either it's the attributes that you have and you create as an individual, which will, at the end of these personal attributes, these personal skills that you have as an individual are the ones that will help you achieve or situational awareness. So situational awareness is basically whatever situation you may be. Maybe you be at home, running a business, working in a corporate, working with your team, leading a team, or doing any form of communication or work with multiple people. That's the situational awareness which this personal attributes support. The second thing it does is it enhances the abilities of a person to get the job done. It's not going to give you the technical knowledge to do the job, but it will enhance your ability. If you are able to do something probably at a 50% efficiency, having great soft skills will probably take that efficiency to even higher levels, maybe 60, 70, 80, maybe even 100% efficiency. So what's lacking in most people who have great technical skills is that enhancement of soft skills, which can get you to do the job. All right. So this was one way of defining soft skills, and I felt it was a very good understanding, but at the end of the day, it was complicated. So just like most things, I would want to simplify this. So I said, let's deep dive further into soft skills. Let's try to divide it into what really creates soft skills. So when I did that, what I figured out that actually soft skills, when you have to look at it, you have to look at the opposite of soft skills. So let's divide it and differentiate the skills that people have. So if an individual has skills, there are two sets of skills that each of us have. The first, what is there, is called hard skills. These are the skills which are the technical skills. These are the skills that help us perform a designated task. So let's take an example. If a person works in the space of marketing, now if that person's job or task is to do, let's say, digital marketing, they need to know how to post something on Facebook, how to create some communication on social media, how to create an advertisement. Those are the hard skills that you're learning. Let's say if a person is a chartered accountant. Now a chartered accountant needs to know all the abilities of all the laws, taxations, all the ways to number crunch, figure out formulas, to understand what's the tax that a person has to pay. These are examples of what hard skills are. So now if we understand the hard skills that a person has, what does a soft skill mean? It's broadly applicable to across, so soft skills are all the other attributes. So soft skills may be something which is communication, behavior, interpersonal skills, your team management skills. All those elements which are not necessarily technical skills are considered to be soft skills. They are broad in nature. So they're not very specific. You need to keep that in mind. Furthermore, when you really need to understand soft skills, you have to divide it into two forms. Now, I'll give you an example here. So if you had a laptop or a computer, or let's say your phone today, and if you have to divide your cell phone into what is hard skills and what is soft skills in that mobile device. So the hard skills would be all the hardware which is there. So the chip, the screen, the physical phone, all the battery, all the components, the camera, all those things are the hard skills. But the soft skills is the software. The software directs this hardware to work to complete a task. So that's why when we say that soft skills and hard skills have to work hand in hand, that's why you need it, because you need to create it in a manner so that your entire synergy happens. You're able to perform a task to the highest possible efficiency. So that's the aspect of hard skills and soft skills. So that's how we really divide it, or we differentiate it. At the end of the day, majority of us also see soft skills and hard skills in a manner sometimes as what we learn probably in school and colleges are considered to be hard skills. Think back to your time when you were in college and when you were in probably in your school. How much time did you focus on developing your soft skills versus your hard skills? Think about, at least I can speak about myself. When I was in school, my entire calendar used to look like I'm going from a geography class to a history class to a science class to a maths class to a Hindi class to an English class. All that what I was learning, everything that I learned was hard skills. The soft skills is somewhat always kind of, I would say, ignored or left on to individuals to learn on themselves through experience, through trial and error, through extracurricular activities. So those are the ways to get soft skills. Another way to look at soft skills is when we start differentiating between soft skills and hard skills. Okay, so I've put this little yin and yang symbol on the right. The reason I've put that is because you cannot look at either one of them in isolation. It is something that they have to work in synergy with each other. You cannot be a person who only has soft skills and has no hard skills. And you can't be a person who only has hard skills and has no soft skills. So you have to look at them in a synergy of matter. So let's go through some of the points which are mentioned here. First thing is the importance. What is the importance of soft skills? So if you look at it from a job point of view, all right, if you are wanting to get a job, if you're trying to get, let's say even from a business standpoint, if you're trying to get someone to buy your service or your product, you have two skills, your soft skills and your hard skills. Your soft skills or your hard skills will grant you that interview. So what are the hard skills? When you submit a resume, you will have what is your work experience, what's the kind of things that you've done, what are your achievements, what's the kind of actual success that you've been able to deliver. So all those things will get your foot in the door. Think of it from an interview point of view or from a business point of view. Your hard skills gets your foot in the door, will open the door for you. But for you to get the job, to get the client, to get the sale, the hard skills will not be able to do that. That's where your soft skills really come into play. For your soft skills will help you land the job. You'll be able to get the job because of soft skills, not because of your hard skills. Hard skills are important, as I said. They are the ones who will open the door for you. So that's why you can't be without the hard skills. You have to have the hard skills for the door opening, and the soft skills will land you the job or get you that success. And we'll talk a lot about this in the future also in this presentation about what does that really soft skills include. But first, right now, we just need to understand and differentiate the entire aspect of soft skills and hard skills. All right. Another element of the differentiation comes in the measurement. Now, the measurement is where it becomes really difficult when dealing with soft skills. Think about it. Soft skills, for an example, is communication or presentation skills, or is intellectual understanding of skills, or let's talk about another one, let's say leadership. Those all are elements which are very subjective, which are very open-ended. They're very hard to qualify and measure. There are measurement techniques. Let me be clear, there are many measurement techniques for soft skills also. It's not that it's not possible. There are many of them, but they are harder to measure, harder to evaluate, versus hard skills, which are easier to manage, easier to measure, because you'll always have some bit of maybe a matrix or a system in which you can actually measure a particular hard skill. Whereas soft skills, measurement becomes a bit of a challenge. And that's why if you are good at your soft skills, that's why soft skills trainers have methodologies, has processes to evaluate how you can create measurement for soft skills also. Another thing about rules. Now, soft skills versus hard skills, is different also because of the rules. Soft skills often change the rules based on where you are. You haven't, sorry, just give me 1 second. All right. Sorry, I was actually just looking at the chat, looking at if there were anything queries. If at any point of time my voice is not audible or if you're losing me, let me know. I can always turn off my camera and maybe that will help also. Okay, so coming back.
Ashwin, you can go on. I will inform you if there is anything. So,
All right, wonderful. Okay, so let's come back to the rules. All right, now in terms of the rules, soft skills change a lot upon where you are. Okay, depending on the culture, depending on the location, soft skills will change. Think about it. A soft skills, for example, let's say communication or body language itself. Body language would be so different compared to country because there are cultural differences between people. That's a very important thing that you need to keep in mind, that soft skills has to be kept being modified, has to change. The rules of soft skills constantly change based on where you are, who you're meeting, what are the people that are surrounding you, not only from a cultural or geo-cultural point of view, but also from a company cultural point of view. Think of it that if you're working in a Reliance versus a Tata, they have completely different kind of cultures as a company. Now, if you as an employee are working in these two different companies, you have to use your soft skills differently for working more efficiently, right? But now with the case of hard skills, it's not that difficult. Once a skill is kind of developed, the rules, the systems of the hard skills pretty much stay the same. Unless the skill changes in itself, the hard skill remains the same. How do you create a PowerPoint remains the same. At the end of the day, how you create a proposal will stay the same. How you do a certain process or how you create a certain document will remain the same. So all those rules or how you market will remain the same. Those fundamentals don't really change. But soft skills is a thing which you have to understand that will change based on the people, the environment, the surrounding that you are in. Very important to remember this rule. Finally, about the learning. Now, I spoke about this a little bit earlier already, but the learning is a critical part also. Typically, most soft skills are not learned at the age when you're in school. They are something that you learn over the period of time because soft skills is learned through trial and error. You might be able to train people on a certain soft skills, but then they have to keep trying and getting better at it. A hard skill is far more easier to learn, and that's why our primary education during school, college, or any other forms has always been focused on hard skills because they're easy to teach at that level. There has been, at least from what I've seen, a great advancement in the way we teach in schools now, and I think there has been a lot of focus now coming into soft skills. At least I can say when I was in school a few decades back, soft skills was probably non-existent and probably just kept as an extracurricular activity, and hard skill was the bread and butter of how you go ahead in future. Today, I think so there has been a tremendous shift, but not yet to the level where soft skills has come at par with the importance what hard skills is given at that early age. So soft skills, you need to remember, is something that you might be learning throughout your life. You might be in your late 40s and you still have an ability to learn and upgrade your soft skills. So it's not about age at all when you come to thinking about soft skills. There's always way to improve and bring in more efficiency. So that's a little differentiation between soft skills and hard skills. Let's understand now what is the real importance of soft skills. I mean, we've been talking about so much about soft skills. Now we need to really define why are we really listening to this. The first few reasons why I would want to say, or the major 4 important reasons why soft skills is important. First, it helps us handle interpersonal relationships. That's one of the major importance of soft skills. That's the personal skills, individual skills, human skills which you get. How to manage and maintain relationships with other humans. That's one of the most important advantages if you are able to improve your soft skills. Next is to communicate. Now, communication is a massive or is a huge thing as part of soft skills. So when you become better at your soft skills, you are able to really tune into your communication styles. You're able to listen more effectively. You're able to communicate more effectively. Communication becomes seamlessly clear for you. It's not a challenge anymore. All right. So that's a second major importance of what soft skills is also. The third one is to have good impression and impact to gain professional development. Now, let's look at this as an example. If you are in a company and you and your colleague are at the same level, you both are doing exactly the same job at the same efficiency. How do you get ahead or further your career compared to the other person in your team? That's where, when your hard skills are almost duplicated or are not able to differentiate, that's where your soft skills actually make the big differentiation. Your aspects such as leadership skills, communication, behavioral skills, etiquette, your communication, your team management skills, your negotiation skills, and I can go on. All these skills will be helping you create an impact and gain that professional development. It will be able to give you that, I would say, differentiation, or it will be able to give you that additional boost which others might not have. How you would differentiate yourself from the crowd is using your soft skills. Finally, it also makes a major impact into career progression. Now, career progression should not only be seen in the factor of employment, but career progression would be in the form of also business. So if you are in the form of business, soft skills make an immense impact. Now think about it, that if you are in business and you are probably improving your sales skills or your negotiation skills, that's going to create a huge impact to your business altogether. That's going to increase your bottom line to the business and top line to your business with sales skills. So therefore, these are the things. Now, if you are in an employment situation and you need to look at soft skills, think about honing into those team management skills or leadership skills to get that next leap in your career. So career progression or business progression, more often or not, can lead up to soft skills. A lot of times when I speak to people, especially in the business fraternity and this community of investors, so a lot of us who probably are in a startup phase or have been in a startup phase go to investors. And investors, typically, if you've ever gone to an investor, one thing, yes, they will obviously evaluate your business, but another thing that they tell you is your biggest asset as an organization is your human capital, is the people that you have. It's the leaders, the followers, the managers, the executors. Those are the people who are the biggest value that you have as a business. And then that basis, do they decide that should we fund you or not from an investor standpoint. Now think about it, how important is soft skills there? You might be developing an app, let's say a mobile app. You might be a 10-member team who is working. All of you are engineers, great, brilliant IIT pass outs. But you do not have the ability to sit in front of your board members or your investors and communicate your idea efficiently. Or you're not able to negotiate the terms of your deal with an investor effectively. You're not able to manage your team, and that's why you might not be able to retain the best talent in your organization. All of what I've just mentioned has nothing to do with what you have learned in your hard skills. Everything has to do with your soft skills. So that's why, to be successful, soft skills become critical. Two interesting facts that I found, which I thought I would share with everyone today. The first one was from LinkedIn, and we all are well familiar with this source. What they stated out in a particular research and a survey that they had conducted, in 2018, LinkedIn listed the leadership, communication, collaboration, and time management as the top 4 most demanded soft skills across the world. Think about it. What are they asking for? Top 4 demanded soft skills in the world: leadership, communication, collaboration, and time management. These are the ones what people are looking for. These, if you are able to enhance these skills in yourself, you are differentiating yourself from the rest of them. Another one which I found, which was also very interesting and gives us a different point of view, which is from Stanford University. In a research that they conducted for over 500 CEOs from Fortune 500 companies, they found 75%. Now, this is the interesting thing: 75% of long-term job success or job success depends on people skills, and people skills is nothing but soft skills, while 25% is on technical skills. Think about it. So they're saying that 75% of the reason why you will be successful as a business or as an employee or as a person in your career is because of your soft skills, not because of our hard skills or the technical skills. Now trace back into your time in probably your education space and think how much time did you spend focusing on your hard skills and building your soft skills. If they are disproportionate, then you need to bring them in alignment. You need to focus again into your soft skills and upgrade them. So these are two very interesting facts, and I thought this might be interesting for all of you. Again, I will remind, if you have questions, just drop them at any point of time in the chat window, and I will try to address every single one of them at the end of the session. Another very interesting fact, which when I was doing my research on soft skills, was what are the skills employees look for when hiring. So this is important from an employment standpoint. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is, look at the percentages. Communication, 98%. Positive attitude, 97%. Team management skills, 92%. And then it shuts down a lot. Global perspective, yes. Ability to work virtually. And finally, years of experience, 28%. Years of experience is what we can probably equate to the hard skills that you have. All the rest of the skills which are mentioned here have nothing to do with the skills that are technical in nature. Communication skills is not the technical or the hard skills that you have. Those are the soft skills that you have. The positive attitude, the teamwork, the ability to work virtually, those aspects are all soft skills. So if you're looking at being a new hire in an organization, these are the things that you need to focus on. Or if you are going to be training people who are going to get into the workforce, these are the skills that you want to train them on also. So that's also a very important thing. These are the skills that are going to be in most demand from a training point of view. And I know a lot of you today on the call are probably existing trainers, wanting to be trainers, image consultants, and etc. But this is why it's important, because these are the skills that people will want to upgrade themselves. So that's why the demand for soft skills will increase. And I will talk a little bit about the career opportunities as soft skills and what's the kind of current trends that I have noticed also. So I'll get to that a little bit later. All right. So a little bit of an introduction. I think a lot of you already know. I see quite a few of them on the call today are already students of ISIM or past alumni. So you are well versed with what Indian School of Image Management is. But for the rest of you who do not know, Indian School of Image Management is a institute which has been in the focus for training and development in image management. We have professional certification programs for image management as well as an advanced soft skills certification program, what we are addressing today here. We are a school which has presence in Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, Mauritius, and hopefully after this lockdown ends, you will see a lot more list of locations on that bit. We have executive programs, which are short duration specialization programs. We have online programs, which what we are doing right now. And the advanced soft skills certification program is an online program also. So that's something that I will address later on for you to understand. And finally, we do something which is a format of master classes. So that's a very short introduction about ISIM. Moving to the advanced soft skills certification program. So this program is a program which really focuses on all the levels of techniques or subjects which are required to master the domain of soft skills. All right. It is a long program. It takes approximately 6 to 7 months. sometimes even hired based on some holidays or some festivals, or such as the coronavirus, what we are all facing today. This entire program is via classroom mentoring. There's a lot of self-learning sessions. The classroom sessions are online, which what you're seeing right now. We do have this program in a in-person format also, but that happens only in Mumbai in one of our centers. For all the rest of our centers and across India and other locations, we do this entire program via a virtual session. So you have virtual classroom and you're learning every single subject virtually also. So that's how long this program takes. Again, takes 6 to 7 months for you to complete this program. All right, so some bit about the faculty, the people who are behind this particular program. One person who you've already met, that is me. I am the co-founder and managing partner of Indian School of Image Management, and I did get a wonderful introduction at the start, so I will skip mine. But the other person who is also the core faculty for this program and has developed this program along with me is Sonia Dubey Dewan. She is the first CIP, which is Certified Image Professional by AICI in India. She has over 10 to 12 years of experience in image management industry. And yes, she has also developed another program, which is the image management program. But this is a co-created program where both of us have developed this over the past years of our experience. I'll get into the curriculum and then jump into all the subjects also for you to understand. So the first is there are lots of curriculum, because you need to understand soft skills is not about a subject, or soft skills is not only about communication. I so often get this question from people who I interact with regards to this conversation about soft skills, where they say, hey, soft skills is all about communication, right? Or soft skills is all about public speaking, or soft skills is all about etiquette and behavior. Not necessarily. There are so many different levels and domains and specializations in soft skills. And this is majorly the ones which you want to develop to become at an advanced level. So communication, as I said, is an important level, but there are other focuses such as leadership, customer service. More often than not, customer service is never thought as a soft skill, but at the end of the day, it is a soft skill. Internal management, sales. Quite often, sales is considered or misunderstood as a hard skill. Sales is not a hard skill. It is not a technical skill. Product knowledge, understanding your product or your service is a hard skill. Sales is truly a soft skill. And we'll understand that a little bit more in depth once we get into each of these modules and understand them in detail. Managing teams, networking, personal branding, all of these are different forms of soft skills. All right. So let's get into the first one, which is communication. This is the obvious one. All right. Everyone who thinks about soft skills first thinks about communication. So when you think about communication and the curriculum, when we've also looked at this program, we've really defined communication in a different manner. What we focus is not on the basics of communication, which is just saying there is verbal, vocal, and visual communication, because those are the basics which you already have learned through other courses or have already understood those. Now is the time to upgrade your knowledge to the next level. So you're going to understand different strategies in communication. You're going to understand different nuances of communication. You're going to understand different models of communication. So those are something that we teach in the communication secrets. Another thing is presentation skills. That's one of the most important aspects of communication. You focus on how to present effectively. It's not about just standing in front of a crowd. It's also about how to come up with the right pitch. How do you come up with the right opening? What is the right way of storytelling in a presentation? What are different models of engaging with your audience? What are the right way? We've always heard about this terminology called icebreakers, energizers, and all these different things. What are those? How do you conduct these? That's what we're going to focus on, presentation skills. And that's again another critical part of communication in soft skills. Another one is public speaking. Now, quite often or not, people ask me, what's the difference between public speaking and presentation skills? Oops, sorry. What's the difference between public speaking and presentation skills? So presentation skills is your ability to present on a particular subject matter. You might be an expert at something and you're going to be presenting, teaching, training on a certain matter. Your public speaking skills are your ability to orate a communication effectively to a large audience. Orating that communication is not only about how to say it out, but how to prepare for that. How do you come up, let's say if you want to write a speech, you've been invited at an event and you have to say something. You're the chief guest at an event, or maybe even just at the end of the event, you have to say thank you to being welcomed or being a guest at the event. How do you come up with the right words? How do you come up with the right flow? What is the processes that you use? How do you identify what is appropriate to be used and what's not appropriate to be used? That's public speaking skills. Then is proposal writing. Now, this is the one which most people don't even know what it means. So proposal writing is a soft skills which is very key. It's required for all forms of communication, because when you're writing a proposal, and a proposal can be a detailed proposal to a customer, it could be or it could be simply writing an email to a prospective client, any of those things, those are all proposal. So your writing skills are also very important. In your writing skills, there are different kind of models and formulas. These are mathematical formulas that you need to learn on how to evaluate that what's the level of your language you're using. So to understand what am I using, what words am I using, how complex are my words, how simple are my words, I have to define those. And how do you do those? By learning these different techniques and formulas to evaluate what you've written. So that's your proposal writing skills. Finally, your business writing skills. Now, business writing skills is a way to really take the entire aspect of proposal writing and elaborate that to a much bigger audience. Now, every form of formal communication needs to be conceptualized, created, validated, and then communicated. So those are different processes and systems that you need to learn under communication also. So business writing is also an important element of communication when you're looking at soft skills. So I'll just wait here. Communication is split between these 5 elements. Now these 5 elements have their own different, so these are 5 different subjects in a way. They have different practices. So under every subject, there's either a theory, a formula, a system. For example, there's something called the STAR system that you learn. And there are many of these systems. But these are the systems and formulas that you have to learn to start adapting and using your soft skills. The next one is leadership. Now, quite often or not, leadership is at one point quite a buzzword. Everyone wants to learn leadership, study about leadership, maybe read a book about leadership. I've probably met a lot of people who want to really upgrade their skills in leadership. But what they don't understand, that leadership is not something that is just simply learned by reading a book. Yes, it is great. There are wonderful books out there. Don't misunderstand me. But you need to really implement leadership skills through a practical way also. So there are, let's say, practices, techniques, activities that you have to learn to implement leadership skills. Leadership skills cannot be learned in a quick moment. This is a skill that takes a lot of time to develop, because this is probably one of the biggest self-development goals of most people. So one important thing is to understand what are the skills that you have, how do you improve them, identify what kind of leader are you. There are different styles of leaderships. To identify which kind of leader are you, and are you the appropriate leader in that scenario. Next is you also have to understand how to influence leaders, right? You can only be a leader when you can influence people. So you have to learn the ability to influence, to create that entire aspect of fellowship in leadership. So that's another very critical aspect of leadership which you need to learn. The next one is customer service. All right, the module. Now, customer service quite often is misunderstood as a form of communication. A lot of people put that under the overall umbrella of communication, but customer service has its own different ways of looking at it. You have to understand what customer service is, what domain you're working with, what industry you're working with, what are the needs of the customers, because customers and clients could be of very different needs. So you need to learn how to tailor customer requirements and how to create customer support, what are the methodologies, what are the processes of creating those aspects. So customer service also is a very important thing. Another element of customer service which everyone struggles with or is a huge important soft skills is handling difficult customers or handling irate customers. Those ones which have, this is one of the biggest challenges with customer service. So you need to understand how and what are the techniques, what is the process to neutralize a conflict situation. So that's the entire aspect of handling difficult customers. How do you really handle that? What are the processes? What are the systems? That's what you need to learn in customer service. Not only the communication skills, but the other elements of customer service. All right. Next is managing teams. And to be honest, I would say this is probably one of my favorite areas. I could probably go on and do a complete session on just managing teams. But this is where I enjoy the most. And I somehow feel this is one soft skill that you can never stop learning. There's always more to learn. So some of the subjects or some of the elements in managing teams, the first one is conflict resolution. Now, that is the base premise of any team. Now, think about it. A conflict will always arise. It is an eventuality because you have more than one person in when you're creating a team. And when you have more than one person, you will have more than one view because no two people are the same. You will have contradictions. You will have conflicts. So therefore, you need to have a system, a process, a methodology to figure out how to solve conflicts. That's a very important thing. In an interesting way, you can also think about it that conflicts don't necessarily always need teams. You could have conflict with yourself also, right? You might have a view which you might yourself not agree with. So self-conflict is another level of soft skills that you have to learn in a way altogether, which we'll talk about in internal management. But conflict resolution is one of the most important skills that you have to tune into when you're looking at managing teams. Another one is team work and team building. You need to understand that how do you create teams? There is a life cycle for every team. So for example, if I have to give you a glimpse of what teamwork works, there are 4 cycles in teamwork. There's something called norming. There's something called forming, norming, and performing. These are different life cycles which are crafted by brilliant behavioral psychologists over the years. These are the systems that you have to learn to understand what life cycle is your team in. Is it in that formation stage? Is it in that conflict stage? Is it in that normalization stage? Is it in that performing stage? Which stage is your team in? And then work on aspects of building your team further. We always have probably gone into this aspect of team building where if you've ever gone to let's say an offsite, or you've done these activities where a company takes you out to learn something, that's team building activities. You need to know when you're with a team, how do you do those activities? What is the right activity to be done with the team to identify what they need? So those team building activities are very important. What games to play? Like we see these quite often that people play these games for building bonding inside a team. But how do you really execute those games? What are the games that you should be playing? What are the games which you should be playing in which scenario? All that mapping and understanding is required when you look at team or managing teams. Also, you need to look at chemistry. How do you build that chemistry? So rapport building with teams is all about chemistry. How do you find the right balance in the team to find the right members to create the perfect team? So understanding how do you identify chemistry, how do you manage, and how do you create that is also something that is focused on rapport building, which is again another very key soft skill. Finally, team building for managers. Now that's all about the management skills. That's all about the leadership skills, because in a team, you have to have 2 components. You have to have a leader, you have to have a follower. So if you're in that construct of a team, you need to know as a leader, what are your roles and responsibilities and what do you really need to do? As a follower, you need to work in a manner where it delivers for the overall team. You can't have a team where everyone is a leader or everyone is a follower. That team will effectively implode the minute it's created, right? So it's very important to understand different elements of team and how and what roles people create and what do they have to do to make a successful team. As I said, that was one of my favorite subjects, so I could go on and on about. Another subject that I find it very interesting is sales. Quite often or not, people have that cringe moment whenever I come to the slide saying, oh my God, we got to do sales, because sales is something where people feel a little bit apprehensive or not in their comfort zone. But that's the objective. Why do you feel apprehensive, or why do you feel a little close-minded when you're looking at sales? Is because we've always seen this as a technical aspect. We need to now start looking at sales purely from a soft skill. And as a soft skill, just like communication, if you can learn to be more effective at your communication, you can be learning to be more effective in sales. So in sales, we start with the fundamentals of sales. What do you have in sales? How do you understand sales? What are different types of sales models? We learn about coaching salespeople. We learn how to coach sales individuals. If you are a person who's a leader, how do you coach those people? One of the interesting things in sales that you have to learn in soft skills is closing sales. You might be able to do the information, the conversation, the negotiation. The major place where most people get stuck is the closures. What you have to understand is there are different techniques of closing. Those are the things that you have to learn. You also have to learn that there is something called in-person sales and virtual sales. In-person sales creates different modules. Are you hard selling? Are you doing a consultative approach for selling? Which model and which process of selling are you using? Those are things that you have to learn. Again, there are so many different psychological models and behavioral aspects that you learn, or fundamental structures or theories that you need to learn under sales also. Another one which is really interesting is motivating sales teams. Now, quite often or not, when we think of motivation, typically you think about one or two theories of motivation. And the theory of motivation which comes to most people is the theory of motivation of needs. I think all of us at some point of time have probably learned about that. Most likely anyone who studied economics would have definitely learned that. It's called Maslow's theory of needs. Now that is one theory. Is that the only theory to understand about motivation? Not necessarily. That's why you need to go into the advanced level. When we say this is an advanced soft skills certification course, it's not about learning only one theory. There are different theories. There are theories of, there are about 4 different major theories which you need to understand for motivation, and then find what combination of theories work best for your teams. So therefore, motivation and theory is a lot of psychological and behavioral science that goes into this. So we need to understand these theories. These theories, are being developed from the 1920s probably also. So all these theories are something that you need to learn. Overcoming sales objections, that's another critical one, similar to handling difficult customers, which we spoke about in customer service. But overcoming sales objections is also a critical thing which you need to learn in sales, because that is the only way you can progress for closing of sales. So overcoming sales objections is one of the main things. That also comes back to how to have an effective communication. So it's a mixture of all different elements coming together in soft skills. Finally, negotiation skills. Now this is probably one of the favorite subjects, and most people, and I'm sure today also in this call, would think negotiation skills is all about bargaining. But negotiation skills is not about bargaining. Bargaining is one of the stages or elements of negotiation. Negotiation goes much more beyond that. Negotiation is a process for coming to a conclusion and a definite answer. Don't think of negotiation only from a point where you're haggling for price. Negotiation skills can be used effectively for hostage negotiation. If someone is holding someone against their will, and you are the negotiator, you are negotiating them to be released. That's where negotiation skills can be used. Negotiation skills is not again about only price. Negotiation could be simply getting what you want out of the party. Negotiation skills can be used by children to get what they want from their parents. So negotiation skills goes much more beyond just bargaining and haggling for price. That's a very stereotypical way of looking at negotiation skills. Negotiation skills is a huge subject matter and a huge domain of knowledge in soft skills. Next is networking. Networking is also a very important soft skill, but networking typically for most of us has always been told is networking is equivalent to networking outside your company. But important thing to learn about networking is that you also have to look at networking inside your company. Think about it that if you are part of a large organization such as Levers or let's say Facebook or even Google, yes, it could be important to you for your role and your success to network outside your company, but it's equally important to network inside your organization, within your company. There are different techniques when you have to look at networking outside versus networking inside. There are different processes, there are different steps, there are different systems that you have to use. So that's why networking has to be broken down and not always seen in a manner for outside the company. And also networking is not necessarily equivalent to selling. So that's why networking has not come under the sales module, but is a separate module altogether, because networking goes much beyond just selling. Very important thing to remember. Another one is behavior. Now this also comes as a huge element when you're looking at soft skills. This is a large portion of what soft skills also comes to be. So the first is interpersonal skills. How do you work between two individuals? What are the skills that you have to be better in your human skills or your people skills? Those are the interpersonal skills that you have. Your body language, a very critical thing. How do you look? How do you behave? How do you perform? Or what are your gestures, postures, etc.? I'm sure a lot of you would have already studied body language or know about body language. But the way to go advanced in your body language is that learn not only to identify body language, but to actually also read that in a particular manner. And how do you read body language is by understanding certain systems and theories. That's the aspect of body language here, where we dive deep into the aspects of psychological theories of understanding what triggers certain body languages, right? Another one is business etiquette. Now that's another very important element that you need to learn and you need to be well aware of, because in this globalized world, we need to have good etiquette when we are working in our businesses. Civility at work. Civility is where you make sure that people are having less conflicts. How do you have that at your workplace? So what are the process systems and creations of things that you have to do? There are things of where you learn cause effect theories, which is called the fishbone theory. Those are theories that you have to learn to understand how to manage civility at work. All right, that's just a glimpse and one of the theories that you learn. Telephone etiquettes. Now, most of us don't have good telephone etiquettes, and that's one of the weakest points that we have. Communication through telephone etiquettes is critical. There are very simple things that you can do, but then there are ways to manage telephone etiquettes more effectively also, right? So that's another aspect under the behavioral ways of soft skills that a person needs to look at. Next is personal branding. Now, personal branding is also a major soft skills. Why? Because at the end of the day, if your objective is to brand yourself, is to create yourself into an individual which people follow, and you are that leader, that's what personal branding is all about. Personal branding does not equate to becoming a social influencer, does not equate to becoming only a celebrity or someone in the public figure. So your personal branding is even efficient if, or is important if you're in an organization and you're a leader in your organization. How do you make sure you build your brand so that tomorrow when people are looking for a solution, they know who to go to, because you've created that brand of a leader in yourself. So personal branding is not only about celebrities or social influencing and all those elements, but personal branding goes much beyond that. There are different methods and aspects or theories, categories of social branding that you have to understand. You have to identify who you are and what personal brand are you creating. This is a subject which takes leadership to the next level. If you build on good leadership skills, that's when you become a personal branding aspect where you brand your leadership skills. All right. So that's what is about personal branding. The next one is train the trainer. Now, this terminology of train the trainer is very common with most people, either in the training industry or people who want to be in this training industry. So train the trainer are basically methods of first training. So we focus on that. You've already covered that in somewhat of presentation skills and public speaking skills. But what you learn in train the trainer are methods of training. What are different methods of presenting? What are different styles of presenting? Second is, which is a major part of train the trainer, is evaluation. How do you evaluate your attendees? How do you evaluate success? What is post evaluation, pre-evaluation? What are all those levels of trainings and evaluations that you have to conduct? What is the facilitation skills that you need to implement to be effective as a trainer? So those elements are very critical. And especially going back to the evaluation methods, there are actual simple or complex theories as well as formulas that you learn as a trainer to implement in your trainings to become effective and evaluate. Because think about it, if your job or your career is a trainer and a company hires you, the first question the company will ask you, how effective was the training for my employees? Now, how do you deliver and showcase that in a matrix format is what you learn train the trainer. And how do I create a matrix around success and measuring that success in my career? So that's a major element of what a person needs to learn in train the trainer. Next, or the second last one, and I'm happy to take questions. I think we're running still on time. We're not running behind. But again, keep putting up the questions. If you have anything, we will address them at the end of the session. Right. So now the next one is internal management. Now, this is all about your personal development. You as an individual, how do you develop your skills? So the first one is emotional intelligence. That's a very important aspect. How your emotional intelligence, almost, if I have to give a simple way, is your empathy. Is your empathy level of where does it stand? What is your empathy level, and really evaluating that aspect. There are multiple formulas as well as theories that you need to learn about emotional intelligence, because when you understand yourself better, you are able to relate with others more efficiently and effectively. So that's the subject of emotional intelligence, which one needs to learn also. Creative problem solving. Now, this is a really fun and important subject. This really looks at how to make sure that you solve problems by looking at it in a different point of view. How do you bring in that creativity? And what are those different types of games, systems, processes, theories that you can use for creative problem solving? All right, so that's another very important element. Stress management. I can't stress enough about stress management, but stress management is also a critical aspect about internal management, because every one of us works in probably a stressful environment in some form or the other. May that be at home, at work, or your business. There is stress everywhere. Now, how do you manage that stress? How do you neutralize that stress? What are the deep relaxation techniques? What are the aspects of different stress management modules, activities that one has to conduct in themselves and train others on to manage their stress levels? That's a very important level or understanding also for your internal management. Time management. Now, if some of you would have probably been, and I know some of you on this call were on one of our Friday knowledge happy hours, and I had taken a session on time management. But time management is an important element of soft skills. It's a critical element of us. How do we manage our time? How well do we manage our time? There are theories which are, and I had shared one of the theory of a pickle jar theory, but there are many different theories and systems that one can use and understand how to manage time effectively, how to identify what are the processes or what are the systems that are working for you and not working for you. So that's the aspect of time management. Goal setting and getting things done is all about finding the right aspects and finding smart solutions, finding goals which are measurable, which are achievable. So those are something called the SMART goals or smart systems that you can use also. Assertiveness and self-confidence, that's a very important internal management skill that you need to have when you're looking at soft skills also, because assertiveness is somewhat what you're trying to understand about yourself. Are you an aggressive? Are you passive aggressive? Are you assertive? What level of assertiveness are you on? Those are the things that you need to understand. How do you really build on self-confidence? How do you really motivate yourself to do something? Those are the elements of internal management that are there in soft skills. Finally, there is the last subject, which is about business. Now, this is not necessarily a soft skills, but more is taught to you because if your objective is to further your career as a soft skills trainer, as a soft skills expert, or understand business in whatever domain you are doing it, we also focus on that. So things such as business structure, how do you build that business structure? What are the business models, or how do you create different business models? What is branding and marketing, sales, back office operations, financial planning, and then finally coming up with a business plan that can be implemented if your objective is to become a soft skills trainer and build a business in that. So that brings me to the end of the curriculum. I will let you put up any questions that you have with regards to curriculum or subjects that I just spoke about, doubts, anything about on those subjects. Now we're going to move into the evaluation stage. Now, if you are a person who is doing this course, which is the Advanced Soft Skills Certification Program, what are the evaluation processes? Just like I told you that in soft skills or train the trainer, evaluation is a very important thing. There are, and going back to that, there are systems such as Kirkpatrick models which you learn, but this is the evaluation process that we follow. So the first evaluation that we follow is the pre-assessment. All right, we do a pre-assessment test for every single student who does this course. So on the first day of your enrollment, you are going to go through a pre-assessment test. You will just, for us to understand where you lie on your soft skills and where do you lack or where do you already have great soft skills. So it's a pre-assessment test for us to understand you better. The next is the learning phase. Now in the learning phase, the assessments are done through mid-assessments. You have mid-assessments where you have assignments, rapid fire, case studies, etc. So you will have a weekly rapid fire in the class, which is just a quiz of sorts where you'll be asked questions on subjects that you've learned. There would be assignments, gradable, non-gradable. I know there are a lot of students here, so they're quite familiar with that aspect. And then there are a large number of activities. Now, this is an important element because you do need to learn soft skills by implementing a lot of activities. So conducting how to conduct soft skills such as icebreakers, energizers, how do you conduct certain evaluation processes, how do you conduct certain motivational negotiation skill practices. So there are a lot of activities. So for example, when we do negotiation skills in the classroom, we actually implement through a process of case study as well as role play, where you're trying to understand how do you really use negotiation skills to implement this. So it's a lot of practical activities also that are done. The third stage is the result stage, which we call the evaluation. This is where we have a post assessment, which is the final evaluation. It is an examination of sorts. You will be given an exam of multiple choice questions, which you have to complete. And that is one of your final post evaluations, the examination. The second final evaluation is also a project submission. You have to conduct or create a project on any of the subjects that you've learned in terms of soft skills. It could be a live project or it could be a mock project. We give you complete freedom on that, and you have to showcase what that project was. All right, so that's another element of what you have to do. And then finally, we do a post training completion evaluation, which is more to understand where the journey has started and ended. But typically, these evaluations will keep happening throughout the entire timeline also. All right, so this is a way or a glimpse under how the evaluation process works for a certification program. I will just summarize now what is the course of action typically for a person who goes under this kind of soft skill certification. So the first is the classroom training, which happens for people who are not in Mumbai and who are doing this online, will happen via online training. You would have a lot of self-study books and videos that would be given to you. So you would be learning a lot through reading that material. You will apply all of what you've been given in homework and tests and assignments. There will be rapid fire quizzes which you are supposed to participate in, so that we understand how much you have been learning every single week. There are midterm exams. So during the midterm of your course, there will be a midterm exam to evaluate how much you've learned on all your different subjects. Final examination, after you've completed your course, there will be a written examination or an online examination if you're doing it online. And at the end of the program, you also have to submit your program, your project. After you've finished all of this, that's when your certification comes in. You get certified for your pro course. And finally, that's after that starts the entire business mentoring and classes, which I also mentioned in the curriculum. All right. So that's simplifying the process of what you go through in the certification course program. Now let's focus on probably the last element of today's class, and then I'm quite happy to actually have a lot of Q&A today. The first is the career advancements. So when I was doing this career advancements, or what are the career opportunities, I found this really interesting report by Deloitte, which was done on what is the kind of progression towards the next 3 decades ahead of us. An interesting fact that they said was 2/3 of all the occupations, so soft skills will be probably 2/3. So soft skills intensive occupation or soft skills jobs or soft skills activities will account to 2/3 of all the jobs by 2030. So in the next 10 years, 2/3 of the job market will be dominated by just people who are working or experts in soft skills. So that was a very interesting fact, and it kind of blew my mind away that there is that much growth happening in this industry and in this space altogether. Another interesting thing that I found was a factor about the US workforce. And the reason I picked this fact is that typically what we see in the US and the Western culture or Western countries happening purely from a business or a workforce standpoint, we in India are probably not more than, I would say, 2.5 to 3 years behind them. So if you see a particular trend happening in the US and the West, that trend most likely would formulate and manifest in India also in a matter of 2 to 3 years. So what this fact said that 44% of executives said they lack soft skills or lack of soft skills was the biggest gap that they spent in the US workforce. 44% people said the gap in my soft skills is the biggest gap, or the gap or the lack of soft skills is the biggest gap that I have for my career success. So extrapolate that fact and think of it in the Indian context. This number most likely would be far higher than any other number. Think of it again into India's tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where there are immense amount of talent in hard skills. There are probably a dearth of engineers and doctors and people who are sitting there. What they're lacking is purely only the soft skills which they need to highlight and improve upon. So just a fact which was very interesting. So now let's get into the aspects of what are the opportunities. The first opportunity, obviously, as this course or a soft skills expert would have, is to become a corporate trainer in soft skills. And let me clarify that, a corporate trainer in soft skills. And I'll tell you why I'm putting this emphasis later on, but that aspect has huge potential. So in India, the soft skills, as I said, there's a huge dearth of talent who have tremendous amount of hard skills, but are lacking soft skills. So if your objective is to become a trainer and work in the space with clients on training and development, this is an opportunity for you to focus purely on soft skills as your domain expertise, right? And yes, obviously learning this course equips you effectively to learn on 37 different domains of soft skills. And that's why it's a very elaborate course of soft skills domain. Another one, and I know quite a few of you today on the call are either image consultants who have finished their courses or are people who are still pursuing your education with us or maybe somewhere else. The career opportunities for an image consultant are immense again, because what you're doing is you have learned already a soft skills. So image consulting, and I'll address this question also, you as an image consultant or a person studying image management, you've already learned a certain level of soft skills. Now, when you study this kind of a course, you're taking what you've already learned and expanding it to a far bigger horizon, a far bigger domain expertise. So you are going to be expanding what your portfolio of services or your portfolio of trainings can be altogether. So that's the objective if you're already in this space. Finally, to all those people today on the call who have that objective saying that I'm not really looking for a business, I'm not looking at this from a training standpoint. Also, understand that all these soft skills that you're talking about are not only to become a trainer. These soft skills are for self implementation. If you feel you have weak public speaking skills, if you have weak negotiation skills, if you have weak let's say customer service skills, or handling difficult customers, or objection handling is something difficult for you, all these different skills will help you improve yourself. You will be better improving your own soft skills to improve your professional success in future. So this course is not only for people who want to become trainers, but also for people who just want to upgrade their own personal skills to take that next level in their career advancements. So as I said, the soft skills can help you differentiate yourself in the market. So those are all the things or career options, and we can take that up on more on a Q&A basis with the rest of the team or rest of the participants right now. But I want to address a few common questions. Now, whenever I've done this kind of a session, there have been 2 or 3 very common questions. The first most common question I get is soft skills and image consulting different? Or is soft skills and image management different? Now, this is one of the most false representations of soft skills. Image management or soft skills, or image consulting and soft skills, is not different. They are under the same umbrella. For some reason, they have just been marketed in a different manner all these years and have created this entire identity that if you're doing soft skills or you're an image consultant and image management, you're not a soft skills trainer. That's not true. Let me give you an example through visual. So if this was the entire space of soft skills, this is the entire world of soft skills or domain of soft skills, that's where image management lies. Everything that you learn in image management, think about every single subject as an image consultant you've learned. Then none of them are hard skills. Every single thing that you have learned is a soft skill. So image management is a soft skill. The advanced soft skills program, which I have just taken you through, is a set of different soft skills which sometimes have a small overlap on your existing image management or image consultants. So to think that soft skills and image management or soft skills or image consulting are 2 different things, that's one of the worst ways to represent this. So it is definitely a wrong representation. It is the same thing. It's under the entire umbrella of soft skills. All right. So I hope if you had this question, this clarifies it. I will, if you still have doubts about that, put it in the chat window and I'll try to address them again. The second question that I quite often get is soft skills equivalent to corporate trainer? Now you need to understand, when I said earlier that you can become a corporate trainer, what does corporate trainer mean? Think about the word corporate. That means an organization or a company, and trainer. So you are talking about an organizational trainer. Can soft skills do that for you? Yes, as a soft skills expert, you are going to be a person who's going to be training in companies. But does soft skills equal to corporate trainer? No. That's a wrong way to look at it, because a corporate trainer could be a person who could be training on technical hard skills. A corporate trainer could be a person who teaches yoga. A corporate trainer could be a person who teaches nutrition. A corporate trainer could be a person who might teach you how to use Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So there are all different forms of corporate trainers. Just by saying you are a soft skills trainer does not equivalent to a corporate trainer. The right way to look at it is that you are a soft skills corporate trainer, or you're a corporate trainer that is an expert soft skills trainer or expertises in the domain of soft skills. So don't be misled by people who say that corporate training is equivalent to soft skills. That's not true. One of the last questions that I get, and I kind of already addressed this question earlier, was with regards to the trainer, that should a person only do a course like this or any other course in soft skills only if they want to become trainers? No, that's the biggest wrong perception. As I said in the earlier part of the presentation, most of our education over these years has only focused on hard skills. Most of our education has been focused truly on building only technical skills. So now it's perfectly fine if you are even an entrepreneur or you're an individual, you're a person who's working and does not have any interest to train or build a business in soft skills. That does not mean that you should not improve and increase or enhance your soft skills to be more successful in the future. So soft skills applies to anyone. You can definitely use what you learn and build a business around it, or you can just use what you learn and implement it on yourself. Not necessarily always required to make money out of it by making a business. What you learn might give you the next promotion. What you learn might make you an effective leader. So think about it from that point of view. All right. Finally, I will summarize this and then open it up for Q&A. What is included in the entire soft skills program? You get classroom training, online mentorship, feedback sessions, books, reference materials. You get a huge inventory of activities which you will learn in classroom as well as at home to practice. Business development systems and tools. And yes, if you are looking at any other courses in future, as an alumni, you do get a lot of benefits also by iSign. So that's a short summarization. Again, just coming back to the mentoring and coaching. In any form of training that we provide at iSign, we really focus and come back and circle back to the mentoring and coaching, because this is something where we really focus or we really feel that makes a big difference in the life cycle of a student. So the ability to focus and give time to each student about their personal issues or their personal career objectives, that's something that we focus at iSign. And that's the entire mentoring and coaching that we give. Keep in mind, the mentoring and coaching is only as good as you want to take it. A mentor and a coach doesn't run behind the student. The student has to come to the mentor and coach and demand the coaching and demand the mentor. So we offer all of this, but we request every single of our students who enroll into courses to come back to us and take the mentoring and coaching, right? So that's a very important thing you want to keep in mind. For iSign or generally also, always think about mentoring and coaching is something that you have to go and take from people, okay? That's just a little bit about the fees of the course. If you are interested, there is a typo on that. I don't know why it says the Image Management Dual Certification Program, but it is the fees for the Advanced Soft Skills Certification Program. That is 1,50,000. And if you are interested, you can definitely get in touch with one of our team members who can probably answer any questions about fee structures, etc. All right. So now I would probably want to open it up for Q&A, and I hope there are lots of questions. So maybe if